selections are in. Which deserving players were left out in the cold?
Brady, back of the end zone, got it, touchdown. We've seen this movie before.
Brady and Big Ben are familiar faces, but is there a newcomer crashing the AFC QB party in Hawaii?
He's got a home run ball, deep post, Nelson, got it, touchdown.
And there is a reason why they made it. We take a look at the Pro Bowlers' top 10 plays from Week 16. NFL Total Access.
Here we go, fat guys, let's go.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of NFL Total Access. We will reveal the Pro Bowl rosters for this year. We've got all the information for you over the next next hour, and we have a lot of people to help us share this information.
We do. We have guys that know all about the Pro Bowl. We have a guy that made it to the Pro Bowl 5 times. He was the most outstanding, not valuable, the most outstanding player in the 92 Pro Bowl. That would be our man Michael Irvin on the left. And we have Charles Davis, who has watched how many Pro Bowls, Charles?
I've watched them from the time I was 5.
Okay.
So I've watched plenty of them.
So you and I have that in common, and those two are here to break down our Pro Bowl rosters.
Okay, let's get things rolling. We're going to reveal the NFC Pro Bowlers on offense. No surprise that Aaron Rodgers will be going to his second Pro Bowl. He's coming off that 5-touchdown performance, 343 for 502, 4,543 yards, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a 122.5 passer rating.
Those numbers are ridiculous. Also ridiculous numbers for Drew Brees. He, too, is a Pro Bowler for the 6th time. Just past Dan Marino's record. He is ridiculous.
Eli Manning is the 3rd quarterback. That one might cause a few people to wonder, but he's had a phenomenal season. 335 for 556, 4,587 yards, 26 touchdowns, and a 90.3 passer rating.
LaShawn McCoy, 20 touchdowns this year, 17 on the ground, 3 of them through the air. He has 300 yards receiving for the Eagles. LaShawn McCoy, a Pro Bowler for the first time.
What an up and down season it has been for Matt Forte, but he certainly deserves a Pro Bowl nod. He is on IR, so he will not play in the game, but 203 carries, 997 yards before going down to that knee injury.
Your 3rd running back, Frank Gore, his 3rd Pro Bowl appearance here for the NFC, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns for your NFC West champion, San Francisco 49ers.
Calvin Johnson will be going to the playoffs for the first time. He'll also be going to his 2nd Pro Bowl, 85 receptions, 1,437 yards, and 15 touchdowns.
You know, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. Larry Fitzgerald will find his way to Hawaii with catches like this. 6th Pro Bowl for Fitzgerald, 8 touchdowns, over 1,200 yards, and 71 catches for the Cardinals.
Steve Smith has come alive with Cam Newton as his quarterback. He will go to his 6th Pro Bowl, 73 receptions, 1,308 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the season.
This one might have people talking. Matter of fact, that's a foreshadow. We're going to talk a little bit more about Greg Jennings making the Pro Bowl. 67 catches, didn't get 1,000 yards, but he got hurt there at the end. 9 touchdowns for the Packers.
Jimmy Graham, in his 2nd year, will be going to his 1st Pro Bowl. What a 24 hours it has been for him after his team just absolutely demolished their rivals on Monday night.
The most prolific tight end in NFL history, Tony Gonzalez, 12th Pro Bowl appearance, 79 catches, kind of snuck up on everyone. 7 touchdowns for Tony Gonzalez. He, again, is a Pro Bowler.
All right, and as for the offensive line and fullback selection, Saints well represented in this group. And at tackle, Jason Peters, a starter, his 5th Pro Bowl. Joe Staley joins him as a starter. Staley and Jermon Bushrod, first-timers. At guard, Jari Evans going for the 3rd time. Carl Nix joins him as starter. And welcome to the Pro Bowl, Davin Joseph. At center, Ryan Khalil, a starter, his 3rd selection. Scott Wells, his 1st. And you can hear the crowd chant, John Kuhn making his 1st Pro Bowl.
All right, how about the snubs? You saw your 3rd quarterback is Eli Manning. Let's compare the numbers here because there are fans in Detroit and there are fans in Dallas that think Matthew Stafford and Tony Romo deserve to be that number 3 quarterback. Instead, it is going to be Eli Manning. Let's bring back Michael Irvin and Charles Davis. Michael, I'll start with you. Did Eli deserve that 3rd slot, or would you give it to somebody else?
Well, you know, I think Eli's had a wonderful year. I mean, this has been a year where you start out 5-2. They lose Ahmad Bradshaw at 6-2 in the Miami game, and then basically no running game since then. And Eli's continued to keep his team around the top of that division. And here's the mark for me of a quarterback that's really coming into his own. When he starts putting new guys on the field that we never heard of, like Ballard and Cruz, and start making these guys look like Pro Bowlers. And we'll get to that Cruz stuff in the Pro Bowling stubs there.
And, Michael, when you look at it also, because Stafford and Romo make great cases, there are other guys also. What if Jay Cutler didn't get hurt? He was tracking to make a great case towards it. Cam Newton is someone we're going to be talking about between now and the end of his career about Pro Bowls. But when I look back on Eli, 14 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter this year, okay? That tells me something about this guy. He's got that laid-back attitude. Everybody wonders about his competitive streak. I thought he might have put that to rest in 2007 when they won the Super Bowl and he answered the barbs that came his way. But he continues to do that. He continues to compete. And you're talking about him making talented players even better, like a Cruz, like a Ballard, having them emerge. Eli Manning has had a heck of a year, and I think he deserves this opportunity to go to Hawaii. Because last thing, defense, don't forget, Michael, defense hasn't been the same for him either this year.
Giving up plenty of big balls every day. Anybody can get deep on the defense. But also, he's doing this under the pressure. The pressure of the New York Light. Let's be real. Tony Romo has had a wonderful year at quarterback. A wonderful year at quarterback. But his highs have been so wonderfully high, like in San Francisco. But his lows, ooh, they've been so scary low, like in Detroit and what happened in the Jets. And I think that's probably hurting Tony.
All right, guys, let's talk about the wide receivers because, Michael, I know you'd like to see Victor Cruz get in there. You can argue that Jordy Nelson is maybe even the better receiver in Green Bay. Absolutely. He has 12 touchdowns. Absolutely. You know, we see Steve Smith, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Greg Jennings. Those are the guys you expect to see there. But Jordy Nelson's having that great year. Victor Cruz is having that great year. Roddy White is having a good year. Yeah, he gets targeted more than anyone else, but his numbers speak for themselves. Michael, who should be going here at wideout?
And this is a funny thing, guys, when we talk about NFC wide receivers. It's been this way since the dawn of time. Let me just say this wholeheartedly. I remember the days that I was bogarting the Pro Bowl, and I had to fight with guys like, Chris Carter, Sterling Sharp, Jerry Rice, Andre Rison, Herman Moore. Each week, we were arguing about who's getting in the Pro Bowl. How can you leave this guy out? How can you leave that guy out? And that's what you have now. You have a lot of wonderful receivers in the NFC that are all bunched up. Everybody can't go. So you have to start refining the numbers and understand that the numbers do have an infidelity to them sometimes. You can make numbers do anything. I need to know not only how many catches you made, but how important were those receptions. And here's why Greg Jennings is right where he belongs. It's not just about how many. Every reception Greg Jennings made was what? Towards winning. Towards winning. He hasn't made a reception that was not towards winning. Now, some of these other guys, who may not have had such a wonderful career, season team-wise, some of those receptions may have been in junk time. So you got to count those things when you're counting. All of mine, of course, they went to Super Bowls. All my receptions were important receptions.
Every last one of yours, playmaker, meant something, okay? It wasn't a matter of you collect them in garbage time. You didn't get 18 in the fourth quarter just to pad your stats. All right, let's go ahead and take it back to Victor Cruz, though, because I saw you jumping. I saw you moving. You were fired up about Victor Cruz. Let's talk about him, okay?
I like Victor Cruz.
He's not in there, but that's probably because people didn't know about him prior to the season. You know the adage about Pro Bowls, playmaker. You usually make them a year after you should have, and you may make them a year longer than you should have. Victor Cruz wasn't even on the ballot. Then he turned in this year where he's over 1,300 yards. He even talked some stuff down the stretch where everyone told him, I can't believe you talked that way to Revis Island.
Job.
And how did that work out?
Wonderful job.
A fantastic job. He answered his own challenge and helped power his Giants to a chance to make the playoffs with a big win over the Jets. Victor Cruz is a guy that he's not going, but starting next year, he's going to be on that ballot. People are going to talk about him from the beginning. If he does anything close to what he did this year, he can punch his ticket to go to the Pro Bowl from this point on.
And chances are, if it came down, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, Charles, Victor Cruz is a man after my own heart.
Yep.
You know, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because I've been around guys and guys I love. Even like Troy. Troy Aikman grabs me in the corner. He says, Michael, have you ever thought about under-bragging and over-delivering? I said, no. Never thought about that. And Victor Cruz, he spoke about it. He told you he was going to do it, and then he delivered. It's a guy after my own heart, a receiver of receivers.
I like that. 17.9 a catch, including that 99-yard Week 16, and I'm going to write down and use later. Under-bragging. Thanks, guys.
Don't forget to over-deliver.
Yeah, you got under-brag.
All right, time to
Under-brag,
reveal
over-deliver, understate.
the NFC defensive selections. It's been a rough year for the Minnesota Vikings, but Jared Allen has made the most of it. 18.5 sacks to lead the league, 4 forced fumbles, and for that winning personality that certainly won over the fans, he's going to the Pro Bowl for a 4th time. And how about this? This board's sponsored by the letter J. What a year the 3 defensive ends that made the roster have had: Jared Allen, Jason Babin in his first year in Philly, and Jason Pierre-Paul, who's come up huge for the Giant, making his first Pro Bowl in his 2nd year. On the interior, Justin Smith, who's been an end-of-game changer for the Niners, and Jay Ratliff are the starters and Pro Bowl veterans, and B.J. Raji joins them, getting his first Pro Bowl nod. On to the NFC linebacking core. DeMarcus Ware led the fan voting, and it's easy to see why. He's had a great season. 18 sacks, 2 in the last game, while battling through a nagging neck stinger. It is his 6th Pro Bowl selection. Clay Matthews will join Ware as a starter on the outside, and Lance Briggs so excited that he made his 7th Pro Bowl team that he let the cat out of the bag a little bit early on Facebook. Patrick Willis has made the Pro Bowl every year he's been in the league, and Brian Urlacher, his 8th Pro Bowl selection. Well, the Packers continue to be well represented. In his 14th season, Charles Woodson has been invited to his 8th Pro Bowl, his 4th straight. Bet he hopes he doesn't get to go for a 2nd straight year. Woodson, the KG Pro Bowl veteran, joined by 2 Pro Bowl rookies in Carlos Rogers and Charles Tillman, 2 first-timers at the free safety spot in Earl Thomas and Deshaun Goldson, and rounding out the DBs, a 5th Pro Bowl selection for Adrian Wilson and his 3rd straight. And last but not least, the specialists. Rookie cornerback and kick returner Patrick Peterson learned Monday that his Achilles injury isn't his tear, won't need surgery, and on Tuesday, he learned he's going to be going to the Pro Bowl for the first time. He's had 4 return touchdowns, including a 99-yarder in overtime to beat the Rams. Corey Graham gets the call in special teams. David Akers, his 6th selection. He kicked 4 field goals for the Niners this past weekend to set the new NFL record with 42 in a season, and he's going to be joined by his teammate and holder, Andy Lee, his 3rd trip.
All right, these guys all made big plays all season long, but what were the best plays this past week from those that made the Pro Bowl? We'll count them down for you from Week 16.
Jimmy Graham's had a breakout sophomore season and a darn good 24 hours. We're going to talk to him after his first Pro Bowl selection. He's already talking retirement.
Really? And which of these AFC quarterbacks is heading to Hawaii? Is there a surprise lurking in this field? The rest of your Pro Bowl selections straight ahead.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by Verizon, the exclusive carrier of Galaxy Nexus by Samsung, and by Payday, the sweet taste of energy.
It's the perfect time to find great deals on the 4G LTE devices you love, like the Droid Bionic by Motorola for $199.99. Or the Pantech Breakout for $49.99, our lowest price ever. Get the technology you love on the network you deserve. And for a limited time, get twice the data for the same low price. Verizon.
Fate has brought you here, John Carter.
John Carter, in theaters and IMAX 3D, March 9th.
I wouldn't do that.
Get married?
No, I wouldn't use that single miles credit card. Nice ring. Knock it off. Ignore him.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn
double miles on every purchase.
3D is so real, Larry.
I'm right here, Larry. If you're not earning double miles, You're settling for half. Really? A plaid tie? What are we in prep school?
Get the Venture Card at CapitalOne.com and earn double miles on every purchase every day.
What's in your wallet? I was gonna say that.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys.
NFL women's apparel fit for you. Get the Reebok split neck tee at select retailers and NFLshop.com.
Good morning, good morning. We danced the whole night through. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
When the band began to play, the stars were shining bright. Now the milkman's on his way. It's to
Wake up with Game Day.
night.
Sunday at 9, only on NFL Network.
We've got the playoffs covered on NFL Network. Start your game day with NFL Game Day Morning.
Both of these quarterbacks will light you up and go up and down the field.
Total Access brings you live updates from every team, every day.
It's about consistency for us on both sides of the ball.
And every postseason game is enhanced with NFL Replay.
Win this game tonight with passion and emotion.
No one covers the playoffs like NFL Network.
We've got you covered.
Tom Brady pulls the bat out of the fire.
Tom Brady on the money. This is a clinic. Handoff, Arian running left, wide open lane. Breaks the tackle. Showtime! Arian Buster. This is our night. Smith is dumped. We don't have one unless we kick it in. And Suggs is on an absolute tear.
All right, you heard the NFC, now your AFC. Any surprise that Tom Brady is a Pro Bowler, his 7th season as New England closes in on home field throughout the AFC. 36 touchdowns.
Ben Roethlisberger bowls. Now he'll get to go to his 2nd Pro Bowl, closing in on 4,000 yards for the season, playing through injury and just being benched.
He's benched. Here's the surprise, maybe. Some people thought maybe Tebow. Phillip Rivers is your 3rd AFC quarterback. Those 19 interceptions tied for the league lead, but he has thrown for 4,300 yards.
No surprise here, the way he makes this offense run, literally. Ray Rice, a 2-time Pro Bowl selection in his 4th year, 1,173 yards.
And another running back short of stature, but big on numbers, leading the NFL in rushing. Maurice Jones-Drew is a Pro Bowler for the 3rd time, truly carrying that Jack.
Making the Pro Bowl for the 2nd time, 278 carries, 1,224 yards, and 10 touchdowns so far this season.
Only one receiver has triple digits for receptions. It's that guy, Wes Welker, a Pro Bowler. 16 catches. It's speed this year to 9 touchdowns for Welker.
And speaking of speed, this also adds a little speed to the AFC Pro Bowl roster. Mike Wallace will be going to his 1st Pro Bowl, 71 receptions, 1,182 yards, and 8 touchdowns on the season.
Oh, the rookie, A.J. Green, congratulations, is a Pro Bowler. Over 1,000 yards receiving. He has 7 touchdowns. He is Andy Dalton's #1 threat, and he's going to Hawaii.
And Brandon Marshall will be joining him. His 3rd Pro Bowl, 77 receptions, 1,177 yards, and 6 touchdowns with a couple different quarterbacks this season.
Which is an issue. Only one quarterback, though, for this guy, Rob Gronkowski. He'll join us later on NFL Total Access. 15 touchdowns. That is a new record in a single season for a tight end. He also ran for one. Could have been a catch, but what a year he's had.
And this one might be one that deserves some discussion. Antonio Gates making his 8th Pro Bowl. He's been battling through that plantar fasciitis. 59 receptions, 672 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And here are your offensive linemen and fullbacks. The Patriots well represented on this list. Joe Thomas, his 5th Pro Bowl. Jake Long, his 4th. Logan Mankins, his 4th. Brian Waters, what a year he has had in New England, his 6th. And Marquise Pouncey, he is the starter in his 2nd Pro Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, your AFC defense now heading to the Pro Bowl. Dwight Freeney is heading. Makes the Pro Bowl the 7th time in his career. Not his best sack season, only 7.5, but a few weeks ago, Freena became the 26th player to register 100 sacks in his career. The rest of the defensive line here: Andre Carter, Elvis Dumervil, Haloti Ngata, Vince Wilfork, and Richard Seymour. 3rd straight year a guy gets cut by one team that makes a Pro Bowl with another. That's Andre Carter. Last year it happened to Antrell Roll. Carter has 10 sacks for the Patriots. Elvis Dumervil, should be noted, his 2nd Pro Bowl. He made it as a linebacker in 09. Now, and how about Terrell Suggs? He is now a 5-time Pro Bowler. 13 sacks, leads the AFC. He also has 2 picks. He has 6 forced fumbles. Could be, maybe, just maybe, your defensive MVP. The other linebackers: Von Miller, Tamba Hali, Ray Lewis, and Derek Johnson. Miller has 11.5 sacks. He has 3 forced fumbles. He's only the 2nd Broncos rookie to make it. The other? Anyone? Anyone? No? David Treadwell. 9? Okay. Tamba Hali is 2nd of the AFC. No shock to Hawaii. He's one of 3 Jets to make it. He has 4 interceptions for the Jets, including a 100-yarder. The rest of your DBs or DBs. Champ Bailey, you have? I haven't. Jonathan Joseph, Ed Reed, Eric Weddle, Troy Polamalu. You know, no corner has been named to more Pro Bowls now than Champ Bailey. 3rd straight year for Bailey. Jonathan Joseph makes his 1st Pro Bowl. Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed. I mean, they always make it. 2 years ago, Antonio Brown was a 6th-round draft pick. Today, he is a Pro Bowler. Your AFC return man. 10.8 yards, a punt return for the Steelers. 27.7 on those. And look who else made it. Matthew Slater from the Patriots. He's a first-timer. Sebastian Janikowski, Shane Leckler. How about them? Drafted the same year, 2000. Today, they are both Pro Bowlers. For Leckler, it is his 7th trip. For Janikowski, amazingly, it is his...
For those players who you could argue belong in the list, let's get to them as your AFC snubs. And Charles and Michael, it's funny, somebody said to me yesterday, because there's always some guys that are pouting out there on the practice field because they're a little jealous of somebody else on their team. So who are the snubs, do you think, that will be pouting maybe tomorrow in the AFC? Michael?
Well, man, you know, and I look at that AFC roster. First of all, I said, wow, I like to look at some of it and say, can we get guys in according to some winning? Now, I love Phillip Rivers. I love Phillip Rivers. I had San Diego going to the Super Bowl. But Phillip Rivers, though he's thrown for a lot of yards, he's thrown for a lot of interceptions. And you got a young guy like Andy Dalton who's doing some wonderful things and resurrect the franchise that Carson Palmer had basically said like that, man. We got to take winning into an account more than just yards.
Well, Michael, let's go ahead and talk about winning then. How about the 2nd tight end in New England, Aaron Hernandez, who had a marvelous year.
Yep.
Gronkowski caught 82 balls. Hernandez caught 72. Gronkowski has just been setting record after record and shredding people. And I think he overarched Hernandez, where people just forgot that maybe, you know, he deserved to be there too. Look, Antonio Gates is a warrior. We know that. He's playing through that pain that Kara talked about, the plantar fasciitis. And he answers the bell as much as he possibly can. But the numbers don't add up this year in terms of what he did versus Hernandez. So it's no slight on Antonio Gates. But you're talking about a New England team that may have home field advantage, and Hernandez is a 2nd tight end. He caught every pass that Welker didn't catch and Gronkowski didn't catch. He caught the rest of them. I thought he had a marvelous year. And the last guy I'll throw in there is Connor Barwin, the outside linebacker for the Houston Texans. Speaking of winning, their 1st division title. And Barwin, double-digit sacks, making the move from defensive end to outside linebacker. But where's the room at outside linebacker? We're talking about Hali and Suggs. I mean, you can't get past those guys.
Yep. Charles, you bring up a good point, though, when you're talking about Hernandez, man, and because you bring up Wes Welker and Gronkowski, the help that he has. So teams start saying, well, we got to focus on this guy and this guy and that guy. But when it comes to the San Diego Chargers, you know, we've had a couple of those games. all there is Antonio Gates.
Right.
So 59 catches for him is like holy macrimony. There was nothing else there. There's nothing else there. They let Sproles go, so he has no help in the middle of the field. He has a bad foot, and people are banging him up all the time. And I think that's helped him in the Pro Bowl, but certainly hurt him for the season.
Yeah, and playmaker to bolster that case for him. Remember, he only played 12 games this year. So to give it to him, 12 games worth of time, and possibly could. But I liked Hernandez this season.
Hey, Michael, just to make you feel better,
Me
Andy
too.
Dalton has been voted as the first alternate, so if one of those guys ends up going to the Super Bowl or somebody decides not to go, Andy Dalton will be joining A.J. Green in Hawaii.
Well, he deserves it. He deserves it.
All right, two sophomore tight ends who are Pro Bowl rookies join us next. Jimmy Graham and Rob Gronkowski both talk about their quarterbacks who will join them on the roster and are battling each other for the single-season passing record.
When you're there are no sick days. Vicks DayQuil defeats 5 cold and flu symptoms. Vicks NyQuil Cold and Flu. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching fever, best sleep you ever got with a cold medicine.
The Go Board. Information you need, freedom to get going. At a value that's simply refreshing. And now the official hotel sponsor of the NFL. Courtyard, it's a new stay.
What is it, shorty?
Tissue, sir? I'm sick.
You don't cough. You don't show defeat. Give me your war face! Holes up.
Sure are a lot of channels at your disposal. You could get carpal thumb surfing through all that. A train always has the air you want when you want it. It doesn't waste your time or dime. How's that for on demand? It's hard to stop a train.
Because you still can't believe he made that catch.
He's out of bounds. Where is he?
NFL.com brings you NFL Game Rewind.
They call it a touchdown.
Relive every game online and on demand. Fast forward and rewind the most exciting action.
Goes to the end zone. Oh, what a grab!
See it all in HD and without commercials.
Look out. Long dives in for the touchdown.
Don't miss a moment. Sign up now at NFL.com/Game Rewind.
Relive the best games from Week 16 as the Giants battle the Jets and the Dolphins take on the Patriots. NFL Replay tonight at 8, only on NFL Network.
The NFL is now hiring new employees. Due to the competitive nature of the industry, applicants should be prepared for a rigorous interview process. Interested candidates should emphasize their strengths and try to separate themselves from other applicants. Please apply at the East-West Shrine Game and Senior Bowl, live January 21st and 28th, only on NFL Network.
NFL Red Zone presents the top 5 plays from Sunday afternoon.
This is 3rd and 4. Flacco. Near side Rice is wide open. 5 touchdown.
Only have 1 timeout left. Stafford throwing. Touchdown. So what? Olsen, the tight end motion. Newton's got it, and he's got a big hole. Cam Newton taking off. Will they get him? Touchdown! Manning on 3rd and 10. He fires, and the catch is made by Cruz, who breaks free. And a man to beat. Victor Cruz down the sideline. Cruz is going to take it all the way.
Wide open, and a flick into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness.
Cam Newton, I got to give you big ups, big ups, big ups.
If I hadn't seen this myself, I really would not believe it.
Tebow and Newton didn't make it this year. Will they ever be able to break the Pro Bowl QB mold? As the coaching carousel starts to spin, will we see John Gruden back on the sidelines in 2012?
It is caught by Gronkowski. Touchdown. Touchdown! Unstoppable!
That is what happens when you got a tight end who's 6'6".
And there's a changing of the guard at tight end. We'll catch up with 2 of the 28 first-time Pro Bowlers.
Welcome back to NFL Total Access. We are revealing the Pro Bowl rosters on this edition. And if you can't seem to follow the pace or you just want to go and check in, go to NFL.com. All the rosters are now up there as of 4 o'clock Eastern time.
There is Pro Bowl news. There is also, at least not now, but soon to be, a lot of coaching news as well. Let's do our latest headlines presented by Bud Light and bring in our friend Jason Locken forward. Jason, there's been a lot of talk in the last 24 hours about John Gruden. Will he maybe take his expertise of what is and what isn't a defenseless receiver and go back to coaching? What do we know, John Gruden?
Andrew, I've talked to sources close to Gruden who tell me repeatedly, unequivocally, he will not be coaching in 2012, and they believe it could be at least another year or years beyond that before he gets out of the broadcast booth, if he does at all. I know there are reports of A.J. Smith and Gruden ending up in St. Louis. I'd frankly be shocked if that happened. I'd be shocked if Gruden and Smith were together in San Diego or anywhere else, because Gruden is married to broadcasting right now. In fact, Andrew, based on my reporting, I believe Jay Gruden, John's younger brother, will be an NFL head coach before Gruden himself is back in coaching.
Jay Gruden, who this year is having a very nice year as offensive coordinator with the Cincinnati Bengals. How about Tom Coughlin, Jason? It's one game to determine the playoff fate of the Giants this coming week. What's his future?
What people may be overlooking here is the fact that, yes, the Giants certainly will have a chance to make a decision on Tom Coughlin, but Coughlin himself will have a decision to make. He's been going year to year with this team for quite some time. He's accomplished a lot. He's won a Super Bowl. Coaching in New York is not easy. He's reached a stage of his career and his life where he may want to enjoy the beautiful new summer house that he's having built. He may want to enjoy the family. It could be a case of enough's enough. I don't see the Giants wanting to part with him as much as maybe he ultimately wants to get away and retire. If that's the case, talking to GMs around the league, the expectation is that Jerry Reese, the GM with the Giants, wouldn't go for a splashy A-list name to replace Coughlin, with Jeff Fisher being the possible exception to that rule.
If we're talking names here and would-be new coaches next year, let's go to San Diego, Jason. Let's pretend Norv Turner is not here a week from now. Where could the Chargers possibly go to replace him?
Let's go to San Diego, and let's go to Rob Chudzinski, going back to the future. He was on Turner's staffs for years. He knows Phillip Rivers. He's worked with him. He's done a tremendous job as the offensive coordinator in Carolina with Cam Newton. They've had historical success. Don't underestimate the role of Phillip Rivers in this. He won't be thrilled with losing Norv Turner. But if you bring back an offensive mind who knows that system, who knows the personnel, it could be somewhat seamless. And Chudzinski's going to be a rising coordinator regardless. A lot of people will link Bill Cowher to this job, Andrew. Talked to a lot of people close to Cowher. They're not sure he wants to leave the East Coast to go all the way across the country regardless. And they continue to tell me the one job that would light a fire under him truly, if it opened up, would be the Giants. That would be the big apple of Bill Cowher's eye. Otherwise, he may stick with the media.
Yeah, I can't see Bill Cowher on a surfboard in San Diego. Maybe it's just...
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Probably not.
Those are your latest headlines presented by Bud Light.
How about these first-time Pro Bowlers in the AFC? Andre Carter. His season ended early, but he rejuvenated his career in New England. 10 sacks. Chats with Rob Gronkowski and Von Miller coming up. In the NFC, Matt Forte. What an emotional roller coaster with his contract status and his knee injury. But good news for him here. A piece of advice to all of these men. Do not, under any circumstances, give out your room number in Hawaii. You will end up with a hefty bar bill. It is the annual Pro Bowl rookie prank. What a huge 24 hours it has been for our next guest. You can see it by his T-shirt after the big win on Monday night. The Saints are now the division champions, and Jimmy Graham, in his second year, going to your first Pro Bowl. Has that sunk in yet?
No, it hasn't. You know, it's obviously it's been an incredible 24 hours with, you know, not only clinching the division, but being part of, you know, such a special night for Drew and for this franchise. You know, it's, I mean, kind of the emotions are everywhere right now, and but it definitely is definitely a special moment for me.
It's interesting. Last year, I talked to Sean Payton, and he pointed you out, and he said, this guy is going to be a superstar for me. This year, you come out, you've quadrupled your yards, twice the number of touchdowns. What does that mean to be a part of this offense and be able to produce the way you have in your second year?
Well, one of my concerns was a lockout, and not having the opportunity to be here and to learn more because, I'm such a young a tight end, and because my knowledge of the game isn't where it needs to be. But I worked hard in the offseason with Jonathan Vilma, and I came here, 7 weeks with Drew Brees, and to see that hard work and that dedication pay off means a lot.
You said after the game on Monday night that you wouldn't play with any other quarterback and that when Drew Brees retires, that you would retire as well. Are you serious? You're only 25 years old. He's about to turn 33.
I think Drew's got another 10 years in him. A 12-year career for me, I really can't ask for much better than that. And, I was pretty serious. He just makes me look like a better player, like a better tight end. And, I look up to him like an older brother. And, what he's done with me and leading me, teaching me, and showing me how to be a pro, it means everything to me.
Jimmy, thank you so much. And I guess in some ways you might be hoping that you're not going to Hawaii after all. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
From the NFC's first-time Pro Bowl tight end to the AFC's first-time Pro Bowl tight end on Patriots Cam now, Rob Gronkowski. Congratulations, one of 8 Patriots to make the Pro Bowl. Tell me how you found out the news.
Through my coach. Coach Belichick told me in his office. He was happy, and it was a great surprise and everything, and it's just an awesome feeling. It's a great honor.
We saw some shots of Bill Belichick in A Football Life on NFL Network. What was that conversation like?
Just congratulated me real quick, saying a lot of hard work, dedication, stuff like that, and just overall with the teammates around me, they all helped me to get to this level. Having Tom, all the veteran wide receivers, all the coaching staff and everything, they helped me out so much in order to achieve this honor.
You have a new record, 15 touchdowns, new record for tight ends. That one as well that was ruled a rush, so 16 touchdowns total. Did you think you had this kind of season in you, Rob?
No, definitely not. Just coming in, you're just trying to do whatever the coaches ask you to do. You're trying to do what the veteran players ask you to do, what the team's asking you to do. And it's just that we had so many great players around us, so many great wide receivers, Aaron Hernandez at the other tight end position. It's just an honor playing here. And with so many weapons that you just don't know who's going to be open. And they got to respect them out there at the wide receiver spot that I'm just the one that happened to be open. And Tom hit me with all the passes and everything. So without the team, I would never be where I am now.
Now, can you get Tom Brady to join you at the Pro Bowl? Can you get him to make the trip?
That's the last thing I'm really worried about right now. We still got another game to play this week, so maybe in the future I can ask him that.
And that next game against the Bills can actually wrap up home field in the AFC. Rob Gronkowski, starting tight end in the AFC for the Patriots. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tim Tebow, Cam Newton. All right, they didn't make it, but because of the way they play, will we have to consider changing how we evaluate these quarterbacks for the Pro Bowl in years to come?
No huddle. Our experts don't hold back.
4 picks in the fourth quarter, that's a tough day at the office, but I don't think he'll blink.
The defense is starting to come along, and Eli is on fire. You know he's going to come to play.
No huddle. Tomorrow at 10, exclusively on NFL Network.
If you didn't watch NFL Game Day highlights, here's what you missed.
The Jets' season is going to ride on Sanchez.
They could go back and play in the Super Bowl, but it takes a healthy Big Ben.
NFL Game Day highlights, Sunday at 7:30, only on NFL Network.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it sleet, freeze, rain, and then let it snow again. Offering fully automatic all-wheel drive, StabiliTrak stability enhancement, and traction control. GMC Acadia. During the GMC holiday event, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2012 GMC Acadia. Plus, make no payments until spring. It's the best offer of the year.
You know, the good folks over at Prilosec OTC have asked yours truly to teach you about treating frequent heartburn. Because I know a thing or two about eating. If you're one of those folks that gets heartburn and then treats day after day, well, that's like checking on your burgers after they're burned.
Treat your frequent heartburn by blocking the acid with Prilosec OTC.
And don't get heartburn in the first place.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Block the acid with Prilosec OTC and don't get heartburn in the first place. Available at Walmart.
One fights for country.
Tommy Reardon saved my life.
One fights for family.
You're upside down on your mortgage.
We're not giving up the house. There's a state tournament. I'm gonna need a trainer.
What are you gonna do?
Come in! Let's go on! I'm gonna fight him.
Warrior. Get it today.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys.
NFL women's apparel fit for you. Get the Pro-Line metallic hooded sweatshirt exclusively at NFLshop.com.
Battle for New York, gotta love it.
We're gonna try to play Santa today.
We cannot lose.
Might be the greatest comeback you're about to see.
This is our house.
Sound Effects, Week 16. Tomorrow at 9:30, exclusively on NFL Network.
All I want is for you to stick around.
Been there, done that. How about this esteemed list? Both Ray Lewis and Tony Gonzalez have a dozen pineapples next to their names in the team media guides. Champ Bailey in double digits himself. 4 great defensive players follow with 8. And former teammates Richard Seymour and Tom Brady round out the list with 7. Wide receiver A.J. Green garnering his first Pro Bowl selection in large part to the spectacular play of fellow rookie Andy Dalton. And the Bengals quarterback has been voted as the first alternate at quarterback for the AFC. As for Tim Tebow, I said it Monday and I'll say it again. If there was a category for closer on the Pro Bowl roster, Tebow would have been a shoo-in. He may still get the call to replace a quarterback who can't make the trip to Hawaii. The Denver Post reporting that Tebow has indeed been voted an alternate. And with Tebow's following, he would surely bring a spark. But as Jeff Darlington opines, it's not Tebow time just yet.
Regardless of the side on which you stand when it comes to Tim Tebow's on-field abilities, it should be no surprise that he was not among the 3 quarterbacks named to the AFC's Pro Bowl roster today. In a year when Philip Rivers certainly left the door open for players and coaches to instead vote another quarterback into the game, we should now be able to see that it's going to take much more than 7 surreal wins to endear Tebow to his opposition as a pure quarterback worthy of their respect. After all, Tebow defeated them mostly with his legs.
It's Tebow time!
Not with his arm. And that, fair or not, might be the biggest setback as it pertains to individual accolades like this one. While he might forever muster a respectable portion of the fan vote, attaining the vote of the players and coaches will be a different story. That's still not to say he won't be able to someday make the Pro Bowl as an unconventional quarterback. Take, for instance, the late Steve McNair, who was drafted in 1995 as the 3rd overall pick. He didn't make the Pro Bowl until 2000, and later was named to 2 more in the following 4 seasons. Players and coaches have proven to eventually be willing to accept unconventional play, just as McNair proved capable of improvement as a passer. Whether that ever occurs with Tebow remains a mystery that will need to wait at least another year to be answered. For now, this is what we know. Players aren't yet willing to vote a guy like Tebow into the Pro Bowl, unless perhaps his name appears next to a position other than quarterback.
And no word if Brian Urlacher has voted for him as fullback.
Well, that would be funny.
Okay, win-loss 7-3. You look at his passing yards, and when you look at what Drew Brees did on Monday night, it's pretty obvious that he's running pretty much, Andrew, as much as he's throwing the ball.
You know, Kara, he has more completions than rushes, but it's only a difference of 4. Let's buy or sell now, presented by Verizon. Welcome back, Michael. and Charles Davis. Guys, here's the premise, that Tim Tebow and Cam Newton, moving forward, now neither made the Pro Bowl this year, but moving forward, we will have to change the way we consider what really is a Pro Bowl quarterback because of the way these guys play the game. Buy or sell? Charles, start with you.
Well, I'm going to buy that we're going to have to change how we look at things because, for the most part, over time, what we've looked at with quarterbacks is, completions, percentage, touchdowns, everything from the pocket or throwing the football, because the running stats were negligible. Those weren't a big deal, save for a Randall Cunningham that would come along, a Michael Vick that would come along, but still, they threw the heck out of the football too. Cam Newton now is combining the best of both worlds. He broke Peyton Manning's record for rookie passing yardage. He went over 4,000 yards throwing the football, and in the red zone, he's their primary running back. He's their #1 threat. When you turn it to Tim Tebow, we know he still has to improve as a thrower. But is he the primary guy for them? Yes, especially in the running game. I think going forward, playmaker, we will have to start evaluating a few extra stats, not just how they're throwing it from the pocket, and it won't be an aberration any longer. And somewhere, guys like Marlon the Magician Briscoe are smiling and saying, finally, you're looking at us as a quarterback position of guys who can do both, and you're going to make it part of your offense and not just make us conform.
Right, and we, in our barbaric way, wanted to stick to the antiquated thought of the only way to win Super Bowls where you had to have one of those drop-back pocket passes. The game is changed. The game is changed. It's not quite to where Tebow is, but it's no longer to where Tom Brady and Peyton Manning is. And it's not only because of the talent that we have coming in at quarterback, it's also because of the talent we have coming in at linebacker and defensive end, the Aldon Smith and the Jason Pierre-Pauls. You can't leave guys sitting in one spot with these guys rushing anymore. So now you need guys moving. You need guys to be able to move like Tebow, be able to take hits like Tebow, but they wanted them to throw like Aaron Rodgers. That's why right now, Aaron Rodgers, he's a contemporary, new age, new day quarterback. But you better believe it. Quarterbacks, the days of wearing the skirts and not taking the hits, Tebow are pushing those out the door.
Yeah, guys. I mean, look at Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton has more rushing yardage than Ahmad Bradshaw, amazingly. And that is buy or sell, presented by Verizon. There were questions when the Broncos took Von Miller, 2nd overall. He has answered those questions and then some. We speak to that rookie about his remarkable year. Coming up.
You haven't seen anything like Pizza Hut's new Big Dinner Box. 2 medium 1-topping pizzas, 8 intense wings, and 5 freshly baked breadsticks. Order the new Big Dinner Box today and call dinner done. Only $19.99, only at your Pizza Hut.
Is your computer running slowly? Does it take more than 3 seconds for your email to load? Are you frustrated with error messages, blue screens, computer freezes, and crashes? These are not only annoying, but can cause permanent damage to your computer. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, your computer and your privacy may be at risk, because these are usually the telltale signs of a virus, and it can only get worse until you act. Get a free diagnosis at mycleanpc.com.
My Clean PC is outstanding, and my computer is running faster than ever.
My Clean PC came through with flying colors when no one else could.
My Clean PC totally cleaned up my system and increased my speed.
MyCleanPC.com can remove spyware, viruses, and infected emails, all speeding up your PC's performance. It offers all-in-one protection, and it's been downloaded by millions of users. Even if you have antivirus software, your computer could still be infected. Find out instantly with a free comprehensive diagnosis at MyCleanPC.com.
It's your social network, all mixed together. With Galaxy Nexus by Samsung, now you can organize your contacts into circles, like you do in real life. So you can choose what people see and what they don't. And with the speed of Verizon 4G LTE, you can chat as a group in a Google Plus Hangout without missing a beat. Introducing the first phone built for Android 4.0, only at Verizon.
Relive the best games from Week 16. As the Giants battle the Jets and the Dolphins take on the Patriots. NFL Replay coming up next, only on NFL Network.
Find out who will win and why on Playbook, the ultimate chalk talk show, featuring exclusive access to the actual game film used by coaches and players.
You know what? He's doing a very nice job throwing the football around.
On Fridays, Playbook goes primetime for 2 straight hours, starting with the AFC.
Here, that's his job.
That's followed by a run through the NFC to complete an unparalleled preview of the weekend's games.
All the way across the field.
See the game the way the pros do. Playbook, Friday at 8 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
NFL Red Zone presents the top 5 plays from Sunday afternoon.
This is 3rd and 4. Flacco. Near side, Rice is wide open. 5, touchdown. Only have 1 timeout left. Stafford throwing. Touchdown. So what? Olsen, the tight end motion. Newton's got it, and he's got a big hole. Cam Newton taking off. Will they get him? Touchdown! Manning on 3rd and 10. He fires, and the catch is made by Cruz, who breaks free. One man to beat. Victor Cruz down the sideline. Cruz is going to take it all the way. Wide open, and flicked into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness.
3 of the top 5 picks of last year's draft have made the Pro Bowl in their first seasons. A.J. Green may need to pay for Andy Dalton to join him, or maybe not. He's the first alternate in Hawaii. They've had a great rookie season together. Von Miller has been opposing quarterback's nightmare and Tim Tebow's best ally. Patrick Peterson edged out Devin Hester as the NFC returner after a stellar first year. It seems like just yesterday I was with the Denver Broncos watching this guy get drafted. Von Miller, a Pro Bowler in his rookie season. How does that sound to you, Von?
It sounds pretty great. I think it's, a sign that the type of defense that we played this year, the type of guys that we have on this team, and they push me, and it all feels great.
First call, was it to your mom? I know how she helped you get into football to begin with.
Oh yeah, I had to call my mom and call on my guys back at Texas A&M, and just talk to them about it, and really it was just great to get congratulations from my teammates. I played a game from my teammates, and it just felt great, getting congratulated from them.
Von, when you got drafted, there were a lot of questions with the 2nd overall pick as to how they were going to use you in this defense. And now here you stand, just 3 sacks shy of the rookie record for sacks. How have you been able to do that?
Just taking it one play at a time, one day at a time. It wasn't always easy. Just keep grinding, keep pushing, and not listening to what everybody else said, and just playing my game.
Von, you've been playing with that cast on your broken thumb. How is it feeling now, and how do you think you guys are going to do moving forward this week, and do you think you're going to go into the playoffs?
Having a cast, it's definitely a learning process, but I'm not the type to make excuses or anything like that. I'm just going out there and enjoying playing the game that I love, and hopefully we could just keep sticking to the same formula of success. I know we haven't had the best games these last couple of weeks, but hopefully we can get back on track this week and just keep pushing it out.
Von, congratulations, and tell your mom to pack her bags for Hawaii.
All righty, thanks, and giggle.
What have you done for me lately, Pro Bowlers? Plenty, we say. We count down the top 10 plays made by the new Pro Bowl squad in Week 16.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste, official soft drink of the NFL, and by FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter.
That's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Are you telling me we can't do this?
I got this, Coach. People said, Pepsi Max? You can't get maximum Pepsi taste with 0 calories.
Who said that?
But Pepsi Max didn't listen.
We just delivered it. So get out there and taste that sweet 0-calorie victory.
The little guy's right.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Do you validate parking?
The inspiring story of how a shipping giant can befriend a forest may seem like the stuff of fairy tales. But if you take away the faces on the trees, take away the pixie dust, Take away the singing animals, and the storybook narrator.
You're left with more electric trucks, more recycled shipping materials, and a growing number of low-emission planes, which still makes for a pretty enchanted tale. Oops, forgot one.
Sustainable solutions. FedEx. Solutions that matter.
It's the perfect time to find great deals on the 4G LTE devices you love, like the Droid Bionic by Motorola for $199.99. Or the Pantech Breakout for $49.99, our lowest price ever. Get the technology you love on the network you deserve. And for a limited time, get twice the data for the same low price. Verizon.
Get her out of here. Willa, go. Go!
You are John Carter of Earth?
Yes, ma'am. John Carter in theaters and IMAX 3D March 9th.
Buzz, 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 buzz. You know, typical alarm clock. I am so glad to get rid of it. Just to be able to wake up in the morning on your own, that's a big accomplishment to me. I don't know how much money I need, but I know that whatever I have, that's what I'm going to live within.
We've got the playoffs covered on NFL Network. Start your game day with NFL Game Day Morning.
Both of these quarterbacks will light you up and go up and down the field.
Total Access brings you live updates from every team, every day.
It's about consistency for us on both sides of the ball.
And every postseason game is enhanced with NFL Replay.
Win this game tonight with passion and emotion.
No one covers the playoffs like NFL Network.
We've got you covered.
All right, take a look at these numbers here. Who made the Pro Bowl, and compare them to your NFL.com Power Poll. Patriots and Niners both have 8. Their rankings in the Power Poll, 3rd and 4th. The Packers, not too shabby with 7. The Ravens, 7. They are 1st and 5th, so they are all top 5 on your NFL.com Power Poll.
Let's count down the top 10 plays of Week 16 made by Pro Bowlers and presented by Payday. At number 10, Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson, a 17-yard interception against the Raiders of Carson Palmer. Returns at 17 yards to the Raiders' 36. More from this game later.
Larry Fitzgerald is a Pro Bowler. Here he is, Week 16, 4th quarter, connecting with John Skelton, fighting for that pylon, getting a 30-yard touchdown. Nice play, but in a loss. 23-16, Cardinals were eliminated there.
Charles, how about Jason Pierre-Paul and the way he's come on for the Giants? 2 sacks against the Jets this past weekend.
He's no longer just known for backflips, is he? This guy is just spectacular in every phase.
And now number 7.
Looking, firing. Got Marshall, got him, touchdown Miami. All right. And for Marshall, his 6th touchdown of the year.
All right, how about Calvin Johnson at number 6? I mean, more amazing because it's the first play of the game. You know he's going to get the ball. He did the week before against the Raiders. A 46-yard catch, and it leads the Lions to a 38-10 win.
At number 5, Clay Matthews coming up with the interception of Josh McCown against the Bears. More from this game later as well.
Just makes plays, doesn't he?
You know who does that as well, Charles? That would be Richard Seymour. Blocked a field goal here. Ryan Suckup trying to win it in regulation. They go to overtime, and you know what happens. I think you do. The Raiders win in overtime.
At number 3, Ray Rice, a 42-yard touchdown reception from Joe Flacco, and the Ravens would go on to win this one 2014. When you get him involved, it seems to help, doesn't it? He was doing the hula dance. I think he was ready for the Pro Bowl.
He knew where he was headed.
Aaron Rodgers is heading to the Pro Bowl. Jordy Nelson is not. We debated that earlier. He has 12 touchdowns. Here's one of them, a 55-yarder against the Bears. And now number 1.
And there it is, a 9-yard strike right over the middle. Move over Marino. There's a breeze coming through the door. Drew Brees has just broken Dan Marino's single-season passing yardage record.
And those were your top 10 plays of Week 16, all made by Pro Bowlers and presented by Payday.
Okay, so Jerome Simpson didn't make the Pro Bowl. Bowl, and he doesn't even have 50 catches. We don't think he should be a Pro Bowler. But may I offer you this idea, that this flip alone should get the guy into the Pro Bowl. Maybe halftime entertainment or something.
Well, you know, maybe A.J. Green as the rookie would buy a ticket and bring him to the Pro Bowl.
I think he could be the coin flip.
You know? Which can be the coin. If he lands on his feet.
Yeah, exactly. If he lands on his feet, then the AFC gets the pick.
As beautiful of a play as that was, and it was an incredible play, and we remember seeing some wonderful plays like Willie Anderson. No, it doesn't deserve Pro Bowlers. Not one play. One good season to get you in, but not one good play.
Coming up, NFL replay. Jets and Giants with a lot of talking, and it starts right now.